What do the killer clowns have in mind now as we're getting closer and closer to the 31st of October Halloween night, or Purge night, in which allegedly, apparently, the killer clowns all over the world are expected to deliver this worldwide purge on the 31st of October, and we understand that the killer clowns are hell-bent. They're not going to stop anytime soon, and there's been more and more stories creeping up online, and apparently people are now facing the killer clowns all over the nation. They're starting to see killer clowns in the streets. They're starting to face the experiences as well, and we have more stories coming from people stating that the killer clowns are out there and they're coming to get you. And before we get to the stories, though, we have even more footage that shows a killer clown being caught in the door cam of a person out in the neighborhood. And in this footage, you see the killer clown just walking up slowly, looking very mythical and very, very weird and eccentric. It's incredibly unsettling. Take a look at this footage. You'll be very, very shocked to see what you see. I cannot believe that this is happening. I mean, it's September 12th as of this recording, and the fact of the matter is the killer clowns all over the world are starting to do their own thing again. The killer clowns are wanting to frighten a lot of people out there all over the country and all over the world. They're now stalking people. They're now chasing people. They're now walking up into people's doors in the middle of the night. It's very unsettling, in my opinion, how these killer clowns are insisting that they're going to make sure that they're going to scare everyone. I mean, just imagine what is going through the mind of all these people, all these victims that are falling into the killer clown purge. And remember, the killer clown purge expected to happen on the 31st of October. I have no idea what's going to be happening on that night, but I'll tell you one thing. If it really is going to happen, hopefully the killer clowns are going to be set, and hopefully they're going to be, prepared for what's to come, because I understand the policemen, the military, and so forth will be on guard if there's going to be a worldwide purge happening soon. As I mentioned, though, we surfaced a lot of different stories online. I should say stories have surfaced all over online, on Reddit, Instagram, Twitter, and so forth. We got the chance to now compile more of these stories that say a lot of different killer clown experiences that people have been facing over the past few days as we're gearing up towards the 31st of October Halloween night, or killer clown purge night, as many people are calling it right now. In the first story here, it said, quote, "This happened to me just last night. When I looked to see the door cam video this morning, I started to see this strange person walking up my door. I was already creeped over the fact that this person was walking so slowly at my door like this. As he got closer and closer, I realized that it was just a killer clown. The guy was standing right outside of my door, and he wasn't saying anything, but he was just staring at the door itself. This gave me the creeps and chills, because I don't know who this person is, or where he came from, or why he's wandering in the middle of the night as some clown stalking people. All of this scares me, honestly. I have a very bad feeling about this entire thing. As I was watching more of the door cam footage, he started backing off, but was still facing the door. He waved, and it was incredibly creepy. I don't know why he was doing this. And I don't know how to describe it, honestly. I just don't know why he was doing this. I don't know why it was me, unless if he was doing it around the neighborhood, and he was stalking others outside of the door. But he was just waving. He slowly turned his head to the left side, and that right there was scary. After that, he turned around and walked away thankfully. I really don't know what that was, who that was, or why he was there. It's extremely frightening to know that there are people in this world that are willing to do this. It's just that awful. So let's talk about that for just a second. I understand that there's a lot of people, for the sake of their security, for the sake of their safety, that they're willing to put all these cams outside of the doors and houses just to see exactly what goes on in the middle of the night or throughout the day when they're not at home. And I can only imagine if you suddenly wake up one morning and wanted to check over the footage that you had, and you check over the footage and you see a killer clown walking up at your door in the middle of the night, knowing that you were in there sleeping. While this was going down sleeping, how can anyone go back to sleep knowing that there are people out there literally wandering in the streets as killer clowns and wanting to stand there in front of the door just stalking you? That right there is something you would see out of movies, but this is frightening. I mean, there are people out there willing to do this. There are people out there who are wanting to scare others, and these killer clowns all over the globe are again insisting, and they're making sure that they're going to frighten everyone until the 31st of October. That's when we all face the, quote, repercussions. That's when we all face their judgment day, and I hope nothing happens. But I mean, I really hope nothing happens on the 31st of October, but seeing that there's so many different killer clown sightings as of late, and seeing that killer clowns are starting to chase people and stalking people, then I have no idea what's going to happen next. Let's move on to the second story here. The second story actually states, quote, I was taking my casual walk during the sunset when all of a sudden I see some clown guy right across from me. Oh my lord. He was just standing there looking at the ground. I stopped and was scared to know that he was just there. He wasn't saying anything or even looking at anyone or anything. He was just staring exactly right on the ground. I was just about to walk the other way, and as soon as I started to move, he looked up. And he said, hello there. I said hi back, and I was starting to shake. This was just something incredibly creepy. He then said, would you want to take a walk with me? I have something to show you in the woods downtown if that's okay with you. I immediately got goosebumps over that. My entire body went into shock mode because I assumed that at any given moment he was going to attack me and drag me into the woods. So I told him, I'm sorry, I can't go. I have to go home very soon. Yeah, that's something I would have said too. He said something to the effect of, but you don't seem to be in a rush. I promise it's going to be quick. I started walking slowly again, but the more steps I was taking backwards, the more he was taking forwards. He was slowly coming closer while I was slowly coming further. I told him, sir, I need to go. Please do not follow me. I remember him smiling and saying, your home is my home. It will all be ours soon. And started running. I started running away as fast as I could, and I literally was scared to death. I was running and running and running, and I quickly turned, and he stopped and stood. He said, you might run tonight, but we'll find you. All of us will. Then he turned around and started walking away. I was relieved, but was super freaked. I definitely called the cops that night, and by the time that I did, and they arrived, they were searching the area, but found nobody in a clown costume. It really was the creepiest thing in the entire world. I hope nobody here faces that. That was something I will never, ever forget. Well, again, I mean, this is what I'm talking about here. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. I am getting absolutely agitated, queasy, upset, and frightened to know that there are killer clowns out there willing to attack people or at least chase them down, willing to ask them if they want to enter into the woods. Just a couple of years ago, I was reading this article that said that these killer clowns were asking kids to follow them in the woods, and how these killer clowns were saying that they wanted to show them as well. I mean, there is something going on. There is something strange happening in this world, and we don't know exactly what it is, but it's something strange. There is something within these killer clowns that is making them feel that they have to go out in the streets and actually make people suffer for whatever reason. Their reason is because of the fact that people have tormented them for decades. But let's be real here. I mean, there's just no way that they would be willing to go at this length to try to get their, quote, revenge. I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. And the 31st of October, it really is looking incredibly scary on that night. I understand that a lot of people are not going to be trick-or-treating. That's the good thing. You know, a lot of people out there are actually making the good conscience and the decision to not go out and trick-or-treat on that evening. This is for your safety. This is for your own life. And I got to preface this by saying that we have no idea what will happen on the 31st of October, but if there will be people out there who are going to get attacked, and if you see people getting attacked inside your homes, immediately call the cops. that's one of the things that you're going to want to do. But again, I would advise everyone, no matter who, to just stay indoors on the night of the 31st of October. Eat some candy for crying out loud. Do something, but stay away in the streets, because these killer clowns all over the nation are expecting to, again, be in the streets, and they're wanted to, quote, purge. That's what they call it. They call it a purge because they're willing to invade homes, and they're willing to destroy buildings and so forth. And this is a public service announcement to anybody watching this video. Please be advised, please be aware, and please stay on alert. These killer clowns out there are no joke, and they will do something if you approach them because they have evil intentions in their mind to commit some sort of plot, some sort of twisted, some sort of sinful and sinister plot that they have in mind, and they're going to do something to you. So again, just don't talk to them, stay away, walk the other way. And if you haven't done so yet, I would advise you to watch the Killer Clown tips, the Killer Clown Purge tips on how to survive the Killer Clown Purge expected to happen next month. The Gaming Weekly did post that video just a few days ago. Again, please take a second to watch that video, because there are some great tips out there for you to survive the Killer Clown Purge, and not just the Purge on the 31st of October, but also how to survive if you ever confront a killer clown. If a killer clown is confronted, if you're actually confronted by a killer clown. I mean, I just got to say, there are so many different tips that you can follow. All we're doing is trying to make sure we help out the public out there. This world could be scary. This world could be very, very sinister at times. And it's just one of those times where we can say that this world really is turning very dark with all the killer clown phenomenon happening. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for tonight. We have more videos coming up over the next few days. We have a killer clown interview coming up soon as well, so we would advise you to stay tuned. This is the #1 source for the killer clowns out there. We here, part of the Gaming Weekly, will upload as much information as we can for all of you out there who are just frightened about this, and I can't blame you. I'm frightened too, so stay tuned for what's to come. Please be safe no matter what you do, no matter what happens. Stay on alert, stay safe, look out for each other, and if you see something strange, make sure to report it to the authorities. And remember, on the 31st of October, Halloween night, please make sure to stay indoors, because it's going to be adamant for you to stay away from the purge, if that's going to happen on that evening. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next time in TGW.